Hello everybody, I'm coming to you here from the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. So thoughts for the week, thoughts for what's happening at the moment. The show is very busy. Last year, due to COVID, the International Boat Show didn't really happen. FLIBS was still held, but the US had their borders shut, so unfortunately that was stopping a lot of people from attending last year. I feel like everyone is making up for it this year. It's really busy, a lot of Europeans. We are obviously aware of the strength of the US dollar at the moment, and that's driving a lot of the US market strength, and I think a lot of Europeans are looking to kind of capitalize on that, European companies. So it does feel a little bit like Monaco Yacht Show on tour with the level of attendance here, but the show is a fantastic opportunity to network with our American cousins. The show is a little spread out. It's a very large show. For those of you who are not aware of the setup over here in Fort Lauderdale, there is the main show where there is a super yacht pavilion where there's quite a lot of people. Outside of that, on the main dock, are still some of the super yacht names that you might expect to be in the super yacht village. And the super yacht village is a separate kind of location in itself, which is fantastic networking opportunity. There's a great kind of central bar with the major manufacturers and companies around it, and the boats here behind me. So the larger tonnage is up here at the Super Yacht Village. The problem is not everyone's up here. So we've got people like San Lorenzo and Azimut and kind of good tonnage builders that are still down in the main show. So I feel like that does kind of separate people, but I do understand those companies build smaller tonnage, and they maybe want to have the larger exposure to more clients in the bigger portion of the show. Yesterday I took part in the Maori Forum, and I hosted a panel where we were discussing trends in yachting. So I just wanted to share the three main things that came up. The first one was exploration vessels, and we really kind of dove into what makes a vessel an explorer vessel, and it certainly wasn't styling. I think not a single element that was discussed was about how it looks, but certainly about its capability. We talked about chase boats, which really divided the room. We're seeing a proliferation in chase boat use, but there were some strong opinions that they don't actually work, and they don't add to the user experience. I think my experience would be to disagree with that. I think a well-run chase boat campaign can work really well. There are pitfalls. I'll be happy to discuss those with you so you can help mitigate against those. And the last thing that we touched on was connectivity, and the increased level of connectivity that we have these days and that's available, and that this is then driving or helping with a different use of the boat, a larger use of the boat. So a lot of people living on board now, doing a lot more work on board, and the reliability of the connectivity is helping this. I don't know if it's driving it, I don't know if there's a causation there, but it's certainly opening up owners opportunities to spend more time on board, and we saw that connectivity is going to be a conversation that's certainly not going away, and is driving how people actually use their boats. The final thing we touched on was yacht residents and yacht crews, which everyone agrees are not yachts. However, they are maybe a new niche, a new area of our industry, and should they be ignored, or should they be brought into the fold? Because if there are owners who are wishing to use their time in that way, is that as part of our sector? Or do we just say, because it doesn't meet what we imagine a yacht to be, and what the regulations say a yacht is, therefore it's not a super yacht and we don't want to be involved because it's actually a cruise ship? So interesting discussions around that. I'll try and bring you another update towards the end of the show with any other kind of thoughts, comments or topics of discussion, but leave your comments below if you've got any questions or want me to address anything.